They're feeling this over at Bud Light. Big time, big time. And now the Teamsters are involved. I'm telling you, this company, it may go down. And it will be the middle class, the very people that used to love this beer, that wind up taking them down, both through lack of sales and now the latest being this union thing. I'm all over it. Bud Light could soon be one for the history books. Look, I'm not saying it's going to happen tomorrow, but how much more can this company take? How much more can they take? Now they're facing a strike. The Teamsters are out saying, you know what? No contract, no beer. Here, this is the tweet that came out from the Teamsters Twitter account. Without a contract by February 29th, there won't be any more beer come March. The Teamsters voted 99% to authorize this strike against this billion-dollar multinational company, which, by the way, is no longer an American beer company. This should be really, really clear. So they got a hashtag out there, no contract, no beer. This hasn't gotten a lot of pickup. Nobody's talking about this just yet, but I'm watching the share prices of Bud, B-U-D. The stock is down. I mean, they're not. You look at the numbers, they're still down like some 29%. Beer sales have fallen dramatically there at AB InBev, otherwise known as Bud. This is the parent company of Bud Light. Ever since the whole Dylan Mulvaney thing and the really inability to gauge how consumers would react to the whole marketing effort. And then what did they do? They fired the woman who was the person who came up with that campaign. They fired the head of all of marketing for Bud Light. I don't know if they're technically saying fired, by the way, but they parted ways. That's a euphemism, right? They parted ways with the head of marketing. The CEO is still there. Interestingly, this company, I don't know how they're going to figure this out. They got a Teamsters strike that they're looking at. Take a look. There won't be any beer come March. U.S. Anheuser-Busch workers threaten strike, represented by the Teamsters. 5,000 workers at 12 breweries prepared to strike after voting 99% in favor. This company, it's a very diverse company, right? It's a multinational company. It was basically formed through the merger of a Brazilian beer company and a Belgian beer company. And then they said, well, Anheuser-Busch, Bud, that's the name we need. So they go by Anheuser-Busch. But again, this is not the Anheuser-Busch of yesteryear. I mean, it's just not. In fact, Billy Bush of the Anheuser-Busch family has talked about this. And he said, look, this is not a company that is in any way similar to what my dad and grandfather built. The whole thing was a huge controversy. Let me take you back, because this is just great video to see of Kid Rock when he just literally blew the lid off things, really angry that Bud Light had chosen that particular line of marketing. Take a peek.
So somebody wasn't watching the hen house. They're riding high and mighty as number one, and a fox gets in. Yes, it was a mistake. So do I want to hold their head underwater and drown them because they made a mistake? No, I think they got the message. Hopefully other companies get it too. But, at the end of the day, I don't think the punishment that they've been getting at this point fits the crime.
Okay, so he was really mad, understandably so. And you know what? We all kind of agreed with him. And he kind of took that shot, remember, at the beer. And then he kind of turned around. So that was kind of a weird move out of Kid Rock. But hey, money talks, right? And I do think money talks. I mean, he's the one who single-handedly took down the company. And then he's out there going to his, fighter things, touting the beer, getting seen drinking the beer, and then goes on Tucker and says, you know what? It's over. I'm back, baby, I'm back. But the union isn't, okay? So talking about timing, they say life is timing. And this is just one hit after another for this company. Here is a quote. This comes to us from The Guardian, which writes, if Anheuser, and this is a quote actually from one of the people involved in this strike, Mr. O'Brien, writing, if Anheuser-Busch's executives can't get their act together to negotiate an agreement that respects workers, we will see them out on the streets. According to the Teamsters, the union has actually not met with AB InBev Anheuser-Busch executives since November 16th, when the company refused to negotiate on job security. And so they quote a worker in here who said, it used to be like when you were working at an Anheuser-Busch plant, that was like a really big deal. It was a great job. Great job for years and years and years. And yet now it's not. It's not because they don't pay enough. They're not keeping up. And I mean, it's a similar problem all over the country. And when you get inflation, like we got inflation, thank you very much, Bidenomics. If you're not making more, but the cost of everything is going up, and it is, well, then you got a problem. And so, look, I don't like unions. I'm no fan of the union. I think the union has actually done a lousy job representing people for way too many years, and they're part of the issue. But nonetheless, I kind of hope that they're able to get something a little more for the workers. I just think it's bad timing because sales are still down 30%. And I don't see them recovering. Do you? I mean, I'm curious to get your take on this. I'm taking a look at the stock, and it's trading around $64.44 right now, a couple bucks off of where it was ahead of this whole scandal. You know, it went way, way, way down, and then Kid Rock comes back and looked like people were forgiving things. I don't think really, though. I mean, maybe Kid Rock is forgiving them, but I think your average American, they moved on. A lot of people are drinking Coors Light now. Molson Coors has benefited from that trade, let me just say. So $64.44. They're going to have some problems if they can't come to a deal or if they have to pay more. You know what? They don't want to pay more, but they may just have to. And they can go back and thank Joe for that one. Biden.
I've been selling my soul, working all day, overtime hours for pay.
That's Oliver Anthony. You know, he climbed to the top of the charts with a great melody and lyrics like that. Of course, saying, been working overtime hours for BS pay. Isn't that the entire problem with where our economy is right now?